Let's go over what is Shodan. Shodan is a search engine that lets you find systems like webcams, routers, servers, and IoT devices that are connected to the internet. Shodan scans the internet on an ongoing basis. This service was first launched or created by John Matherly, and now it's actually its own organization that offers even enterprise services. It has an API that you can programmatically interact with it and search for information, in that way. Now, in this example, I'm actually using the Shodan API to get statistics of devices that are exposed to the internet and are also running the Cisco Smart Install client. Now, you can get detailed information of devices. We use in the API as well. And in this example, I'm querying for any device that has a port 500 open. So in other words, any device that can be an IPsec enabled device. The other tool that I would like to show you is Recon-NG. Recon-NG comes by default in Kali Linux, or you can actually download it and install it from the website that I'm actually showing here. The Recon-NG framework is an open source framework for conducting reconnaissance, passive and active. The framework is similar to the Metasploit and the social engineering toolkit that we're actually going to be covering later in this course. Now, Recon-NG uses a very modular framework. There are many built-in modules, but you can also import new modules into the tool. Now, to start Recon-NG, you just type Recon-NG in a terminal window. Now, the Recon-NG framework has a concept of workspaces. Now, to list all the available workspaces, you can actually type workspaces space list, and this allows you to actually, of course, list them, and also to have your own workspace for different engagements or tasks. So let's create a new workspace. In this case, I'm actually just calling it Omar, and basically you use this with the workspace add command, followed by the actual workspace name, as you can see here. Now let's do another workspace list again. So here you can actually see that we actually have the new workspace created and that our prompt also changed to that new workspace. Now, to list all the available modules, you can use the show modules command as I'm showing here, right? There you can see a very comprehensive list of modules, and you can even import additional modules as well. In short, with Recon-NG, you can harvest information using Whois, Jigsaw, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can identify company host. You can identify geographical locations of host and also individuals using things like HostUp, IP info database, and MaxMind. Now you can identify account and password information that has been previously compromised and leaked onto the internet. And of course, many other operations as well. For most of these operations, you actually need an API key from the different services, right? You can list all the different keys by using the key list command, and you can add the keys by actually using the keys add command, as I'm actually showing here. Now let's do one quick example. Let's use the netcraft module, right, to see all the subdomains for cisco.com. To do that, we type the command use followed by the actual location of the netcraft module that we actually saw whenever we did the show modules command. And then I actually use the set source command to set the cisco.com domain to be the source of the, of course, in this case, and then hit enter. Now type run to run the module and hit enter again. And there you actually see that the tool is actually enumerating all the subdomains and all the other related domains with cisco.com. Now you can use another tool called TheHarvester, and you can use this tool to gather email subdomains, host, employee names, open ports and banners from different public sources like search engines, the PGP key servers, public PGP key servers, of course, and even Shodan, right, from their database. Now, in this case, I'm actually just doing a search for cisco.com using all data sources, right? And you can see, several, results in here. Now, another tool that is very cool is SpiderFoot. You can download it from the link that I'm showing in the screen. And basically, it is a set of Python utilities that allows you to run queries against many open source intelligence sources. Now, to start SpiderFoot, you just launch the SF Python script from the terminal window, right? And it will start a web server, right? So as you can actually see here. So let's actually connect to it via a browser. And then to create a new scan, we can just click on new scan and enter a name and a domain name for that scan. Now, in my example, I already had 2 scans started. One against omarsantos.io, a domain that I own, and another domain that I own that is called theartofhacking.org that we actually are being sharing in this course. So let's take a look at the results for omarsantos.io first, right? There you can see many different results from different domain queries, potential accounts on external sites, just using my name, actually, as a matter of fact, and also many other information about web domains, HTTP headers, and much more, right? Now, you can see similar results that are actually available for the other scan that I had against theartofhacking.org, right? Now, let's switch gears a little bit and let's actually take a look at the tool that I mentioned earlier, which is Maltego. And I actually already covered Maltego in the first course of this series in pretty much, pretty good detail. But let's actually take a look at it from a high level, right? Just to refresh your memory. I'm not going to go into every single detail that we actually went through in the first course, of course. But at the end of the day, Maltego also allows you to perform queries to determine the relationships and the real world links between people, groups of people or social networks, right? Companies, websites, DNS names, net blocks, IP addresses, phrases, affiliations, documents, and many, many other things, right? All these things are linked using open source intelligence, right? As we previously mentioned, right? Now you can download Maltego from paterva.com, which is actually the company that is behind Maltego. And there is actually a commercial version of Maltego and a community edition, a free edition. The one that I'm showing here is the one that actually comes with Kali Linux and is the community edition. Now you do have to register with Paterva to use Maltego. By default, whenever you start Maltego, or when clicking on an empty graph, the Start Machine wizard will actually open to assist you to actually run a machine on the new target. In this case, actually, I'm just going to do one from scratch, so we're not going to use the wizard itself, right? Now, one thing that I want to actually define is actually what are entities. And entities in Maltego are used to represent different types of data or information and are represented as nodes within a graph in the the Maltego screen, right? All these entities are available in your Maltego client, and they actually will be found in the entity palette, which is by default found in the left side of your graph or in the GUI, and then the entities in the palette are categorized into groups, right? With the main categories being infrastructure or personal, right? Now, the beauty of Maltego that is actually, it's a pretty robust tool that it also supports many integrations with sites and tools like Shodan, Threat Miner, VirusTotal, HaveIBeenPwned.com, and many other sources, right? Some of those actually are commercial sources and some of those are free, right? Now, let's take a look at one example. Here, I'm actually going to use a Maltego and I'm going to use myself as a victim, and I select the person entity, and I'm just going to type my name, right, Omar Santos, in there. Now, the different tests that you can do in Maltego are called transforms, and I'm going to select all the transfers for the features that I have enabled on Maltego and all those integrations that I actually talked about, right? I don't have a lot in here. I have most of the free ones, but let's actually see some of them in action, right? Here you can actually already see results for the name Omar Santos, right? So for my name, and it quickly found my Twitter account, right? There you can even select other transforms to runs against one of those results. So in this case, actually, let's see the tweets that this guy Omar Santos is actually sending to the world, right? So let's verify that, and actually, as you can see, quickly see, this is actually a very powerful tool. You can see all the different tweets and many different information that you can actually obtain about an individual or a company. The other thing that I want to highlight is that a lot of these results, you can then deep dive into them and then use other transforms to actually obtain more information and even link information about people that may be related to that individual, in this case myself, right? Now, so as you can quickly see, this is a very powerful tool to do passive reconnaissance and to start gathering information and to then do social engineering attacks or any other type of attacks against any specific victim.